sun is gone. It's gray. But it's still not raining, so it's a success as far as I'm concerned. Well, that was a really entertaining board meeting. I've got to tell you that was actually worth getting up in the morning for. And I'm glad I went. And I wish there had been more operators, but we did have 3 dedicated operators. And Dee Williams, she did show up. And I appreciate that she showed up and for moral support. And but she didn't talk. Oh, for crying out loud! Christ, come on! You're gonna be so nice and you're not gonna get it. She showed up for moral support, and it was quite an interesting board meeting for a number of reasons. I mean, they actually approved the boring withdrawal. Not only did they approve it, but they approved it unanimously, which nobody believed that was going to happen. It was the right thing to do. And it should be qualified why they did it. There's a number of reasons. One of the best reasons was that they knew, given the current budget situation, they weren't going to be able to really do anything about the service. They're not going to be able to provide any more service to boring, and they admitted that, and that was important. I thought is they realized that all boring was going to get was that puny little bus service. But Jason pointed out to me that boring still has service for another year, so they're not losing anything for quite a while. But that was a successful. I mean, the man that was behind that, you got to respect him. That was really one hell of a presentation. I mean, he really did his homework on all of that. And you know how I am about people that are fighting the machine. I have respect for him. But he actually won. He actually got all the votes, and it was the right thing to do. It really was. All the businesses there wanted out, and you have to respect that. Okay, these are small businessmen, and they've, I don't know what it's like running a business in a town like Boring, but I don't blame them for not liking paying the tax, but they're not getting any service at all. So that was the first surprise, and then the next surprise was the testimony. There was only 4 of us, but they were 4 very effective presentations. I thought and then even Rick Van Beveren made a point to Neil that you're going to have to give us some better information about how you're doing this scheduling stuff. I think we're going to settle Neil. I saw him. He was not happy. Sorry, Neil, but we're not happy either. So if we're not happy, why should you be happy? It's. I had a written testimony. I was going to read it, but I said when I got up there, I was like, I'm not reading this. You read this, and I'll give you my off-the-cuff testimony. And I kind of, because they only give you 3 minutes, and that's not enough. I mean, you can basically take one issue, and 3 minutes is like nothing. You're really struggling to make your point in 3 minutes. And Tiffany Schweitzer has this very bad habit of walking out on public testimony, and she's making a habit of that too. And I really question whether somebody should serve on a board if they're not even interested. I know she's busy and all of that, but the people have a right to speak, and she has a responsibility to listen to them. And walking out every time it becomes public testimony time is just very inappropriate as far as I'm concerned. She has really no right to do that, and it's become a very bad habit for her. She's doing it all the time. I for one take offense to it. The other directors all were very patient, and I watched them to see what they're doing when this is happening, and they're actually I don't know. I see some movement on this board. I really do. I have some hope that this board is going to become more of the director of the organization rather than the general manager. That the board is going to be able to take the reins and ask all the right questions and say no once in a while to the general manager. And the general manager was very, very defensive about his being attacked on his schedules. Well, you know, he doesn't have any idea what the scheduling is because he doesn't drive the buses. He's not in our shoes. We're there. We're not making this stuff up. Okay, you have a wild divergence of schedules. Some of them are great and others are horrible. Okay, and that's just a fact. You don't. And my suggestion was pretty clear. You need a safety template to which you measure all your schedules. Don't forget about the contract and whether you have to give a break or not a break and all that nonsense. You want safety or not. So if you do, then you have to design a schedule that provides for safe operation of your vehicle. You can't be putting operators into a rush situation and at the same time think you're operating safely because you are not. You are not operating safely. Okay? It's a farce to think that you are operating your transit system safely when your operators are stressed. It's just not the truth. And you don't need a master's degree. Anyway, I'll put up my written testimony when I get back. Nice to see Cameron as always. He's always, I can't believe he's 17. It's hard to believe. Really, he's way advanced past his years. You know, he's somebody you'd think was in their 20s. And the way he handles himself at those board meetings is so incredible. It's hard to believe, really. When there's no rain, the traffic flows pretty smoothly. Real professional speaker in our group is Steve Fung. I know he's always like, oh, I didn't do a good job. You know, I listen to him and then you go watch him. He really is professional at how he delivers his material. It's highly, I mean, really, I watch these things all the time. And Steve Fung has about as good as a delivery as any high-paced public relations person I've ever seen. I'm not making that up. I really think that. His delivery and the way he presents is so smooth. It's incredible. I just watch him delivering his message, and this is not the first time. He's so convincing, you know. You know, you can laugh at me and you can laugh at Alan Eisenberg a little bit, but you can't laugh at Steve Fung. When he's making the presentation, you have to take him seriously. And that's the difference between the way he presents and the way the rest. You know, we all making good points, but he's doing it with a real style. I mean, he comes in dressed like the rest of the bureaucrats. He's prepared. He doesn't stumble over his words. He's smooth. I'm telling you, that guy, you TriMet marketing people, you blew it with him. You should have approached him and said, Steve, we've seen you in operation for a long time now, and we really want you to be part of this department here, and you know, we'll let you have 30 hours a week, and you help us with our image problem, because there's your man, you dumb, you know, we got a terrible image here. Just put him in charge, man. Watch. I'm telling you, man, it's obvious. I can see it. I can see how good he really is. Can I be the only one? I doubt it. I mean, you're talking about an educated man who's had a sales career his whole life until coming here, who understands presentation. I mean, this is a man. See, this is the thing that the TriMet people don't get, because they've never been professional marketing. Professional. I'm talking free market stuff. I'm not talking about government public relations, which is not the same, because you don't have any of the pressures that a private salesman has. You know, salesmen out in the real world have to produce. People here don't. It doesn't really matter what they say or how stupid they look or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're going to still have your job. And that's the difference. And Steve, when he's doing his shtick, he's doing it from his other experience as a marketing specialist. And he understands what that means. And I don't think there's really too many people here that get it. But I've seen some pretty good presentations by some of the executive staff. They're, you know, pretty good, but I don't see any of it coming near the Steve Fung though, and I'm talking about all of the people that present. I think he's presents better than all of them. Oh, and the other thing today that struck me was how Mary Fetch, that guy's coming up on me too fast. She ignored me. She's not liking me anymore, and that's sad. I'm sad, Mary. Really, I'm sorry if you don't like me, or I did. You know, this is probably about that Max thing. Well, let me tell you, I got that in an email, and I'll tell you again for the 500th time, I had no idea that movie had not been released, and neither did the guy that sent it to me, if I remembered who it was. But I remember chatting with him before I deleted it all. That he said, yeah, this was released, right? And I said, well, probably, right? I mean, why else would we be having it? And I can tell you that email circulated on email lists at TriMet. A lot of people got that video. It wasn't just me, and I certainly did not steal it. Now, see, I think she's mad at me about that.